Hello everyone. Well, the snow has come to an end across Nebraska, but we are still definitely going to be dealing with strong winds and very cold temperatures for the next 2 days. And let's start by talking about the wind. And already windy out there this morning. In the western part of the state, gusts 35, 40 miles per hour, but in the eastern part of the state, gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour. And that's why it feels so terribly cold outside this morning, with feels like temperatures ranging from around minus 35 to minus 50 across the state. And by the way, though no new snow is coming down, now we're going to be dealing with blowing snow. So it might look like throughout the day today that it's still snowing, but actually it's just the snow that's already on the ground being picked up by the wind and blown around. But that's why across the state we're looking at reduced visibility, even though no new snow is going to be coming down. The blowing snow is going to be an issue and will make travel more difficult. But the main story, again, the wind and the cold. And I actually don't think these are the strongest winds just yet. I think the strongest winds are probably going to be around noon, 1 o'clock. Notice how all our wind gusts going up a little bit. I think a lot of us are going to be around 40, 45, noon, 1 o'clock. But I'm not going to rule out in the northeastern part of the state, looking particularly maybe around Sioux City or Norfolk, gusts getting up to around 50 miles per hour. 4 o'clock, not much change, maybe coming down just a little bit, but still widespread gusts, 40, 45 miles per hour. Once the sun sets, a little bit of improvement, but notice still not much. I think we'll gradually see the winds come down a little bit more as we go through the night, particularly in the western part of the state. So now we're looking at tomorrow morning, and we'll just call it breezy over in the panhandle, but still got to call it windy, especially in the northeastern part of the state. Look, even in Lincoln, Omaha, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, gusts 30, 35 miles per hour, so absolutely dealing with a wind chill no matter where we are in the state, but the biggest wind chill factor is going to be in the northeastern part of the state, where even at 7 a.m. in the morning, Sioux City, Norfolk, gusts around 45 miles per hour. Now, in general, we're going to see more wind to the, while things are going to be pretty uniform across the state today, definitely looking like more wind in eastern Nebraska for tomorrow than western Nebraska. So I think we're still going to be dealing with blowing snow in the eastern part of the state, not so much in the western part of the state, after all the blowing going on today. And snow totals a little bit smaller in the western part of the state, with just mainly breezy conditions. I don't think blowing snow is going to be much of an issue, but I still think we could have some limited visibility, probably not as bad as today, across eastern Nebraska for tomorrow. And let's track winds as we get into the late morning and early afternoon. Look how they start to pick up again. We're still looking at the potential for gusts up to 50 miles per hour in the most northeastern part of the state. And look at Lincoln, Omaha, hanging out with gusts around 40 miles per hour, even as we get into the mid-afternoon. But notice less as you go to the east. Look at Scottsbluff and Chadron, gusts only around 15 miles per hour, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So definitely more wind to the east tomorrow than to the west. Finally, once the sun sets, the wind's trying to come down, but still struggling in the eastern part of the state. So what about Saturday? When are we going to catch a break from this wind? Well, Saturday morning, notice better for most, not much wind or a light breeze, but still those gusts hanging out 20 to 30 miles per hour in the eastern part of the state. But the difference is going to be Saturday afternoon. Though we could see those gusts maybe reach 30, 35 miles per hour in the most eastern part of the state, we're avoiding finally those gusts 40, 45 miles per hour. So we can finally say it's not going to be very windy, just windy. So finally, better conditions on Saturday. So with all this wind to go along with really cold temperatures, let's talk about temperatures and then what it's really going to be feeling like. These are high temperatures today. High temperatures this afternoon. Everyone staying below zero. Look at Valentine. A high temperature of minus 11. Omaha, minus 6. Lincoln, minus 4. But with those gusts in most locations, 40, 45 miles per hour, this is as warm as it's going to be feeling. These are our feels like temperatures this afternoon. This is as warm as they're going to get. Minus 27 Beatrice, minus 29 Lincoln. Look at all the places that get stuck minus 30, even this afternoon. So if you can just stay in all day today, that's the way to go. But if you do have to venture out, cannot stress enough, layer up, hats and gloves. Don't leave any exposed skin, because frostbite can occur very quickly in these conditions. Again, when you're talking about wind chills ranging from minus 20 to almost minus 40 in spots. Frostbite can occur in just 10 to 30 minutes. So what about tonight? Well, fortunately, notice that temperatures aren't going to be too much colder than our high temperatures of today, but yes, getting colder. Look how we're going to be ranging from these, again, are actual low temperatures, very late tonight, early tomorrow morning, around minus 10 to as cold as minus 20. But because though the winds are going to come down some, they're certainly not going away. Feels like temperatures still hanging out minus 30 to close to minus 40 degrees. And this is what we're going to be dealing with early tomorrow morning as well. So what about tomorrow afternoon? Well, at least most of us see high temperatures that are above zero, but most of us are probably only going to be in the single digits in the most northern part of the area, getting stuck below zero. Sioux City, Valentine, no warmer than 12 degrees in McCook. And though there's going to be less wind to the west, there's still going to be a lot of wind to the east. So notice how the feels like temperatures, you can really see where the strongest winds are going to be. Look at that around Norfolk, Columbus, minus 20, minus 28, even Omaha, minus 22. Notice improvement once you go to the southwest. Even Lincoln looking a little better than Omaha, minus 16. I mean, none of this is good. The warm spot as far as feels like temperatures go, minus 4 in Scotts Bluff, so still below zero. Finally, this brings us to Friday night. And once again, though we might warm up above zero for the afternoon on Friday, it's back to below zero temperatures Friday night. And though the winds will still be decreasing, there is still going to be enough wind for everyone for there to be a wind chill factor. And so feels like temperatures for Friday night ranging from around minus 10 to still, particularly in and around the Sioux City area, as cold as minus 30.